very good evening. Thank you for joining us today. I am Surabhi Mehta, the International Client Servicing Manager from SmartMove Immigration, and we are going to speak about the UK Tier 4 visa category, which is also very commonly known as a student visa category. We'll also be covering few post-study work visa categories, which are going to open up a lot of options for people who don't fit into certain categories and yet want to get to the UK. So it's a very interesting topic that we have. Before we get started, I would like to introduce our director today, Mr. Hemang Laheru. Hello, Mr. Hemang.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. Yes, yeah. Just looking forward to the session now.
I know. This is pretty interesting. The topic is pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Hemang, yes, as everybody knows, he is the Director of Global Mobility at SmartMove Immigration. He does help a lot of investors and entrepreneurs in planning, in business planning, to smartly invest in countries, and through this investments, not only, enter the country, but also expand your business as well as gain citizenship in those countries. So it's a win-win situation, if you look at it that way. Apart from that, yes, he does specialize in the UK Tier 4 visa categories, and he does assist a lot of students to choose the right post-study, options, post-study work options, or post-graduation options. So yes, he's quite well-rounded that way. So yes, we have him as a speaker today. I'll quickly introduce SmartMove Immigration. As you can see on your screens, we are a professional immigration law firm. We've been doing this since more than 30 years, and we've had around 7,500 plus consultations and more than 3,000 successful applications over the past decade. We do have a presence not only in India, but we are all around the world. As you can see, we are present in even in UK. We have clients from the Middle East, South Africa, Indonesia, US, Bangladesh, Canada. You speak it, and we've had clients for there, and it's more of a referral, a word of mouth, because of the kind of work that we do and the efforts that the team puts in so as to have a successful application. It's safe to say that we have almost a 99% success rate, though we have a 95 success rate mentioned here, but my directors are just too modest. I've been working here since a while, and we do have almost a 99% success rate. As you can see on the screens, our Indian clientele includes the House of Birla, Apollo Tires, High Radius Tech, PC Jewelers, India Pulse, and the list goes on. It's a never-ending list. We have great ratings on our social media channel as well. I'm quickly going to switch the slide. Yes, all right. So what is it that I mean by assisting you in every step? So we very smartly, do a pre-screening for all our clients where we understand the eligibility, we review your profile, and we look at the business that you're into. If not a business, if you're a working professional, if you're a student, we look into the entire profile that you're into, and only then do we suggest what should your next step be, which country are you eligible for, and which route are you eligible for. So once that is done, we start reviewing the documentation, and in goes the visa application. And we are just not limited to the visa bit. We do help with in-country support. What I mean by in-country support is that we help our clients in identifying, which office is, the location of the office is better for them. With VAT registration, when it comes to the children, it's, schooling advice and so on and so forth. It's just, proper in-country support that we provide to all our clients. Apart from that, we have a very great team that works with us, a great team of lawyers, the documentation team. So all the work has been recognized on our website after the webinar. You could go to the website, have a look to the testimonials, and you'll get to know the kind of work that we do. So yes, this is what we do and how we work. And let's start the webinar for today. Mr. Hemang, over to you.
Right, Surabhi, thanks ever so much for that introduction. I just want to check, is the audio good at the moment?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, perfect. Yeah. Right, okay, so I'm just going to start off with the session. Candice, are you still getting the disturbance on the line, or is that any better now? Right. Okay. So I think we just had a little bit of disturbance on the line, but I think we've just got that cleared. Don't think that should be a problem at the moment. If you still get a disturbance, do let us know, and we'll try and see if we can look at fixing it. Um, right. So today's session. Oh, brilliant. Okay. So we're clear now. So today's session is just going to be a quick kind of understanding in terms of what UK is starting to offer with the Tier 4 route. Starting in the UK, getting a little bit of an overview about the Tier 4 visas, understanding some terminology as we go along in there. And this is kind of the key part, the post-study work visa option. So, the big question now for most of the people is, what do we do once, we finish our studies in the UK? And there's some really, really promising answers to that particular question. We also have a specific Q&A session. We'll try and take as many questions as possible. If we're not able to address these, during the session, we will revert to you post this webinar. We'll be making a copy of this presentation available, as well as, the recording will be posted on our YouTube channels, and we'll send you details of that as well. So in case you need to come back to it, you could revisit it. It'd be great if you can just keep dropping questions in the Q&A box so we can address them as we kind of go along. So whatever questions, whenever it comes to your mind, just drop it into the Q&A box, and we'll try and address it either during the event right now, or we'll revisit it, after the session. It's really interesting because, as Surabhi mentioned, this is a subject which is very popular nowadays. And we've had almost 150 registrations for this event, so it's fantastic. I mean, generally we see those kind of numbers when we run business events, where we regularly get 200 to 250 registrations for people looking at business visas to the UK, to the US and Canada and those places. But to get that for a student visa is just amazing. Here's a little bit of fun facts in terms of statistic. So for 2017, and this is a trend which continues over the last couple of years as well, India is the second biggest source country for the UK. Almost 1 million Indians, migrate to the UK every year on a short-term or on a long-term basis, and Poland is number 1 on the list. But with the Brexit happening at the end of this year, with all of those changes coming through, and with the new changes that the UK is proposing, India is definitely going to top the list. So when we look at the statistics for next year, we'll definitely look at seeing India topping that list. So what kind of attracts people to the UK? And right from the fact that it's a very strong and a stable economy, it is ranked second in terms of ease of business, doing business. Also, there's just a lot of familiarity in terms of culture, in terms of people. It's an incredibly friendly place. And, having lived and worked in the UK and continuing to work in the UK at the moment as well, I can vouch for the fact that, it's an amazing destination. And students don't feel that, they are in a different place. It's that welcoming. And it's really, really easy to get integrated, in whichever university you decide to go. In addition to that, there are brilliant business prospects, as you see from the screen. UK is a home to some of the biggest, tech companies. It provides a great environment for innovative businesses to thrive. And even in the current COVID crisis, the government has been very proactive to help the businesses pick up pace. For instance, the restaurant industry in the UK suffered as much as, any other industry. But the UK government has started a scheme where they pick up 50% of your hotel restaurant bill, to kind of, give an incentive to eating out, which is great. And it's already starting to kind of make an impact on the restaurant economy. So here are some of the quick kind of, insights into the benefits of studying in the UK. So UK is a home to almost 200 higher education institutions. There are almost 130 universities. 5 of them are kind of top ranked ones, which have a global renown. These higher education institutions offer about 150,000 courses, and 2.3 million students, domestic and international, enroll on these courses. So it's a fantastic environment for learning. It's a great environment for knowledge sharing. It's an awesome environment for somebody to learn about getting to the next stage, of their professional career. From an Indian perspective, what's also good is the shorter duration of the courses. I mean, you could finish your master's program in 12 to 15 months, whereas a regular program in India or even in the US could take you at least a couple of years, or even in Australia. So a shorter duration of the course not only means that, your visa fees are lesser, the time you're spending is lesser, but you can finish your course and you can get involved in the job market, very quickly as well. So it's a big bonus. And again, the culture in the UK is something that we're all very familiar with, either directly having visited the country or just looking at the popular culture references. And when you land in the UK, you almost feel like you've been there before, kind of a thing. The good part about the UK is that it offers students the ability to work while they're studying. So students can study for 20 hours a week during term time. They can study full time in their holidays. And now there's a whole gamut of post-study work visas that we're going to look at. UK also offers in scholarships and financial support. So, if you're going to enroll on a university course in the UK, you could generally expect a bursary of at least £2,000. That's the minimum that you can expect from your university, and it can only go higher, from that level. If you are inclined towards research, and if you are looking at carrying out courses like an MSc or an MRes or an MPhil, UK is known for its research infrastructure. It has 30% of UK universities are classed as world leading when it comes to research, and almost half of them are ranked as internationally excellent. So it's an excellent place, that allows you to kind of, settle in, carry out a lot of research work if you're so inclined, and gives you that ecosystem. UK has a very good mix of academic and corporate partnerships. Most of the universities that you might go to or you might select, they have brilliant local corporate connects. So you can work on live projects with companies that the university's got a partnership on, which is a fantastic learning opportunity. Now, jumping into the Tier 4 visas. So the Tier 4 is a student visa, and it has two subcategories. There's a Tier 4 General and Tier 4 Child. The Tier 4 Child is typically for any applicant who is in the age group of 4 years to 17 years. That's the Tier 4 Child. So, someone who wants to attend school in the UK, they can go on a Tier 4 Child, and they can even be accompanied by a parent, who's there, who joins the child in the UK. So it's that option is available. Tier 4 General is what most of you would be applying for, because it's for applicants who are kind of 18 years and over. This is a non-settlement visa category, which means that whatever time you spend in the UK on a student visa, so whether you're studying a bachelor's course, whether you're studying a master's course, and then you go on to a PhD on the back of it, all the time spent is not going to count towards settlement. So it's a non-settlement visa category. So that's just something you need to be mindful of. Looking at numbers, last year, there were about 280,000 student visas were granted. The number of student applications from India has been going up, and we expect that in the next year, this will increase manifold, given the fact that the post-study work visa options are going to open up. So it's going to be a fantastic opportunity. But at the moment, China remains at the top of that particular table, where a majority of the visas have been granted to the Chinese, and India kind of comes in second when we look at the grants of the visas. Another club that India is a part of, which is not so flattering, is the refusal cases. So the top 5 countries for which the refusals came through, Pakistan has the list, followed by Bangladesh, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, and India also makes it into the list. So India clearly falls under what's known as a high risk category. So when the Home Office is looking at deciding on a visa for students from India, um, they're less likely to kind of consider giving them the benefit of the doubt. So your documentation has to be spot on. Your presentation of the documents has to be really good. It's no longer sufficient for you to assume that the Home Office will believe this about you. So where possible, always good to substantiate that with additional evidences, because that's what makes it a stronger and a successful application. A tier 4 visa, you can apply for up to 3 months before you start your course. So at SmartMove right now, we get a lot of applications for people who want to start their courses in January, or the Jan intake is the one which they're coming up now. The September intake, obviously in light of the COVID crisis, has been a bit of an iffy category at the moment. But the Jan one is looking really good, and the applications are starting to come in. We're starting to work on the files. Though the actual applications can be submitted only 3 months before the start of the course. So that's something that applicants need to be mindful of. And in terms of when you can enter the country, if your course is more than 6 months, so if you're going on a bachelor's program, or you're going on a postgraduate master's or an MSc, then you can enter up to a month before your course starts. So it allows you to settle in, get a feel of the place, get all your regular stuff done, like opening up bank accounts, applying for national insurance, and so on and so forth. So you can get all of that out of the way, and you're in time when the university starts the courses, because you will have the orientation week, the freshers orientation, and everything on those lines, which is really, really exciting. Especially when you're starting a new course. So some excellent traditional activities that happen. So if you have been granted admission, or if you are seeking admission, always a good idea to be planned to be in country at least 2 to 3 weeks before your course starts, and it'll be really, really worth it. Right. So the tier 4 falls under what's known as a points-based system. So the points-based system has 5 tiers. So there's tier 1, tier 2, tier 4, and tier 5. The tier 3 never really got off the ground, so that kind of stays away. The tier 1 is for highly skilled migrants without a job offer. So it'll have your investors, your entrepreneurs, your exceptional talented professionals. All of those fall under the tier 1 category. The tier 2 is for highly skilled migrants with a job offer. So typically your work permit applications are under the tier 2. Tier 4 is where the student visa applications come through, and tier 5 is for temporary workers. So if you are applying for a tier 4 visa under the points-based system, typically you're required to score about 40 points. And the way you go about doing it is, you have a CAS, or a conditional acceptance, from a tier 4 university or a higher education institution. That'll give you 30 points. And you need to show that you have enough monies, which is also known as maintenance funds, to support yourself. And that's going to get you an additional 10 points. So these are kind of the 2 key critical factors, in order for you to apply. If you have adequate maintenance funds, and what do we mean by adequate is, if your course is in a university in London, or you're going to be spending almost 50% of your time at the London campus, then you need to show that you have about £1,265 for a period of a maximum of 9 months towards your maintenance funds. If your course is outside of London, or you're spending time on a campus outside of London for almost 50% of your course duration, then you can show about £1,000 for a 9-month period. So that's essentially what the maintenance funds is. Now, you also see on your screens that you're required to meet the English language requirement. So the tier 4 by default does not have an obligatory IELTS. So some universities will make a decision about your ability to meet the English language requirement based on their interviews, based on looking at your marks at your 10th and the 12th standard level, and they will say that, yep, this is good enough for us. Some universities will ask you to take the IELTS for the UKVI, and that can be used towards kind of showing that you meet the the appropriate level of English speaking ability. So it can vary by university or higher education institution. There is no one definite requirement on that front. If your university says that it's good enough for them and you don't have to take the IELTS, taking an IELTS is not going to make a huge difference to your visa application, because your university has already agreed to that, that you meet the requirement at the appropriate level.